Hello students, welcome in another session of 12 Computer Science Paper 1. So let us proceed chapter 3 C++. Students, in today's lecture I am explaining control structures in C++. Already this topic learned in 11th. All control structures or syntax learned in 11th standard. Okay, so just revise it. What is the control structure in C++? What is the use of this control structure? The format of program should be easy to trace the flow of execution of statement. Easy to trace the flow of execution of statements. So there are two types of control structure in C++. First one is selection statement and another is loop statement or selection structure or loop structure. Now in selection structure again divided into two types, if statement and switch statement. And in loop statement there are three statement in loop structure. First one is for loop, then while loop, then do while loop. I think already you know this very well this control structure in C++. Okay, now see one by one syntax of each control statement. Just revision. Okay, so see, first is if statement. Simple if statement. In if statement, multiple if statement, else if ladder, single if statement. Okay, so in if statement, see the syntax: if condition, then statement 1, else statement 2, end of this if statement. Now see student, here I think you know what is the meaning of this else word. Mean if condition is true, then statement 1 is executed. If condition is false, then statement 2 is executed. Now what is the meaning of this brackets? Okay, this brackets is nothing but begin and end of this. Means this is the symbol for begin and end of program. Now this is a simple if statement. Now see another syntax of in if statement: if condition is true, then statement 1 is executed, and if condition is false, then statement 2 is executed. Then what is the difference between these two statements? See here, after if condition here begin is given and after statement 1 is executed, then end is here. Okay, this is the difference between. Same here, after else begin is here and statement 2 end is there. Then why here begin and end after else and after if? Student, one thing is remember, if more than one statement after if statement, then give begin and end. Always remember. Same as if one and more statement after else part, then give begin and end. If only one statement after if statement, then not necessary to give begin and end. Directly one end, and lastly after else part give end of this if statement. But more than one statement, then give begin and end is compulsory. This is the difference between if and else statement. In if statement only one condition is checked at a time. Okay. Now see, next is switch statement. Now in switch statement, this is a multiple branching statement. This is a multiple branching statement where based on a condition, the control is transferred to one of the many possible points. Now see the syntax. See, syntax is switch, here expression. Expression means here condition. Okay, which expression you have to check, then write here expression. Now then begin, then case 1, again begin statement 1, case 2, again begin statement 2. If more than one statement is under case 1, case 2, then give begin and end. Okay, same you can write case 3, case 4, depends upon your program. Okay, So many cases you have to check in this switch statement. Finally, one more is default. Okay, default means if given conditions is not checked, means case 1, case 2, case 3, then default condition is checked. In default, statement is executed and then end of switch statement. So student, here if this expression is satisfy this case 1, then execute this statement 1. Okay, means check the condition one by one. Then first pointer goes to case 1, then pointer goes to case 2, then pointer goes to case 3, case 4. After totally all cases are failed, then finally default case is there. In default case, whatever statement write in default case, that statement is executed and then output will be print. Okay, but in switch statement limitations are there. You can write 7 cases, 10 cases, 12 cases. Suppose you want to check the 100 cases, but it is impossible. Okay, it is impossible to write 100 cases. Okay, so for that cases use loop statement. Understood this switch statement? Now see, second part is loop structure. In loop structure, first is do while statement. In do while statement is an exist control loop. Based on a condition, the control is transferred back to a particular point in the program. Now see how, see the syntax, do, if condition do, after do, begin is there, then statement 1 is executed, end is there, and then finally while condition is checked. Okay, means what is the difference between do while and while loop? In do while, at least one time statement 1 is executed and finally at last check condition is checked. If condition is true, then again go back start position. If condition is false, then go to next statement. Okay, so in do while statement at last condition is checked, but in while loop, see here, while condition is checked, begin, statement 1 is executed and statement 2 is executed. See here, what is the difference between them in do while and while loop? See, in do while, first do is right, then statement is executed, then finally at last while condition is checked. But in while loop, first condition is checked, depends upon this condition. If condition is checked, this condition is true, then statement 1 is executed. If condition is false, then statement 2 is executed. Okay, so in while loop, first check the condition, and in do while at last check the condition. This is the difference between them. Okay, so many times while loop is used. Okay, now see, next is for loop. In for loop is very important, is related to programs. Okay, the for is an entry control loop. For loop is an entry control loop and is used when action is to be repeated for a predetermined number of times. Means when for loop is used, you know initial target or initial value or final target means last, how many you want, how many conditions you checked in that program, at that time you can use for loop. Means in for loop you can check 10 conditions at a time, 100 conditions, 200, 1000, 2000, so many conditions you have to check using for loop, but at serially. Means for example, sum of first 100 numbers, sum of first 1000 number, then at that time you can use for loop. Now see the syntax in for loop, first initial value, then check the condition, then increment or decrement the value depends upon that program. If condition is true, then statement 1 is executed. If this condition is false, then statement 2 is executed. Means here till condition is checked or condition is true, suppose 10 conditions, 10 times this for loop is executed, then 10 times this statement 1 is executed. After 11 type this condition is false, then out of loop control come out the loop and statement 2 is executed. Okay. Now this is a control structure in C++. Now see the next topic is features, characteristics and advantages of OOPS concept. Now OOP means object oriented programming language. OOP, OOP. OOP means object oriented programming language. In previous video already we have seen difference between procedural language and object oriented programming language. Now see one by one. First feature is emphasis is on data rather than procedure. Already we have seen in object oriented programming language, very important in object oriented, data is very important related to that function or related to that object, okay, rather than procedure. In procedural language, procedure is important or function is important. So here emphasis is on data rather than procedure. Second one is programs are divided into objects. Programs are divided into objects. In ITIES means in object oriented programming, data more closely to functions than operate on it. Object oriented programming allows to decompose a problem into a number of entities called objects. What do you mean by object? Object is a basic runtime entity. It is a living or non-living thing. Okay, already we have seen this topic in previous video. And then builds data and function means each object have its data, own data and function. Every object has its own data and function. The data of objects can be accessed by the functions associated with that object. Means here when a program is executed, by object interact by sending message to one another. Okay, message to one another. Each objects contain data and code to manipulate the data. Means the data of object means whatever data to related to that object that access to that functions. Okay. Now next is data is hidden and cannot be accessed by external function. In previous video, in procedural language, data is not safe related to object oriented programming language, because if globally data is declared or for function is there, then any functions can changes that variable that is not suitable for other functions. Then in procedural language, data is not safe, but in programming, object oriented programming language, data is hidden. Data is hidden. The data is can't easily pass to another function, but in procedural language, data is passed easily moved to one function to another function. This facility is not available in object oriented programming language. So data is hidden in object oriented programming language. Now next is objects may communicate with each other through functions. Okay, means whatever functions declared in programs, that functions communicate through objects. Means every programs or every functions have, every class have objects, and that objects communicate through functions. And one more advantage in OOP language, new data and functions can be easily added whenever necessary. Means suppose in procedural language you want to add some statements, you want to add some another function, then this is not easy to add because sequence is disturbance. But in object oriented programming language, you can easily add new data, new functions, whatever, whenever you can add. Okay, so this is very important advantage in object oriented programming language. And last one is follows bottom up approach in program design. Means bottom up approach means first write all functions in that program, then finally you can write main program. So you can know very well when program is compiled or run, first pointer goes to where? In main program. Then through main program, all programs, whatever function write in that program, that all functions call in main program, through main program, another part in programs are run. Okay, so here this is the meaning of bottom up approach in program design in object oriented programming language. Okay, understood student? Control structures in C++ and features or advantages of object oriented programming language. Now this is the end of session 2 for chapter C++. Thank you.